Hey YouTube, it's Patrick, and today we're talking about the price of Bitcoin and why I think it's been sliding lately. I've been tracking Bitcoin over the last few months and have been very satisfied with the price stability. At about like $620. It's maybe went up $10 to $20 or down $10 to $20, but for the most part of the last few months it's been really stable. However, over the last few weeks you've seen a pretty big price drop. At the time of recording it was at $573, which is pretty close to, if not the low, over the last few months, pretty close to it. And you got to ask yourself why. Why is this happening? I look at the market capitalization. There is $300 million that has gone out of Bitcoin. Some of this money has gone into other cryptocurrencies, but a lot of it's just literally left Bitcoin. And the only negative thing that you can possibly think of is the news out of New York City, which is pretty much the center of the financial system that we know today. However, it looks like they don't want any part of the new financial system, which is Bitcoin. And they're trying to create this bit license. New York's government has always been overreaching. The latest thing has been, everybody knows about the extra large soda ban that they had or whatever, that got overturned. So, for their government to be overreaching in this is not quite a surprise. But anyway, they have this bit license. It's got these ridiculous rules. As a vendor accepting Bitcoin, you have to go through a background check, fingerprints, all that stuff. People say, well, it's the price of starting up a business, and that might be true. But then it gets even more ridiculous. They make you do stuff that you don't have to do with cash. For example, they make you record every customer name that comes in, even if the transaction is as small as $5. So if someone comes and buys, if you're a New York street vendor and you're selling hot dogs and you accept Bitcoin, if someone buys a hot dog with a Bitcoin for $5, a hot dog and a soda or whatever, they're going to have to fill out your name, your address. What sense does that make? You don't require that for the US dollar. Why would you require it for Bitcoin? It makes no sense to me. Speaking of things that make no sense, the law gets even worse. They tell so you're this vendor, all right, you're saving this Bitcoin. Say you only get a few people that buy hot dogs with Bitcoin. You know the speculative nature of Bitcoin. So you want to ride it out and see if you can make some money. Not in New York. You can't do that. You're not allowed to do it. You have to transfer your Bitcoins immediately to cash and put them in a bank in US dollars. Why is the government trying to force you to save in US dollars? The law is just ridiculous. I kind of have some speculative reasons on why they're trying to do this. It's because they can't control Bitcoin because it's decentralized and they want to maintain their control. But it doesn't matter why they're doing this. It just matters that they're trying to do this, and it's just horrible. If they pass this and it would literally shut down Bitcoin businesses in New York, from miners to people that are accepting it, from people that are just developing programs for Bitcoin. So basically what would happen if this law goes through is people would start leaving New York City that are at least involved in Bitcoin. I want to liken this a lot to arms manufacturing and weapon manufacturing. Magpul was I know one company when a lot of companies were trying to ban guns in their specific states. Companies were moving out of those states and into other ones that were more friendly. I don't see Bitcoin as being much different. I just don't see Congress, they say Congress is not ready to act on this yet. And so I can't really see them making a United States, really a Bitcoin license for the whole United States. So this is going to be mostly out of New York, which once again would create this exodus and hopefully create opportunities in other Bitcoin-friendly states. The funny thing is, they might not be able to do this at all. I was watching this interview with Jeffrey Tucker, who basically states that it's possible for the developers of Bitcoin to create this hard fork and create a new currency from within Bitcoin. And I don't know if it would be one of those things like you would just make a new currency and call it Itcoin, and when the government tried to come down on you, you could just say, well, you regulated Bitcoin, not Itcoin. So, this creates another problem for lawmakers, obviously, if there's any truth to this. I'm not too sure if this is, possible. If people would want to do this, if the Bitcoin community would want to change from Bitcoin to, say, an Itcoin or whatever it might be. But it's still interesting that, once again, Bitcoin is decentralized. It's going to be really hard. You can't just go to one place and shut it down. So and once again, Bitcoin is a universal, I want to say it's a world currency. You can go anywhere. So, they're going to have to ban Bitcoin in every country, everywhere. And would just further show that how ridiculous our banking and money system is. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. And I hope people are not going to be really scared about this regulatory process, because once again, they're going to have to do this across the state and then across the globe to really stifle Bitcoin. And I just don't think it's going to, stick. Hopefully they change these regulations, even the current ones, and hopefully, they don't just this ridiculousness of making you save US dollars and writing down your customers' names. But once again, hope you learned something, and I'll see you on YouTube.